Hey guys, let's have a look on OR switch, which is an electric component and a logic gate which passes power through if it is receiving power to either input A or input B. An OR switch can be found in a regular crate or in underwater sunken chest. Once you have it, you need 20 scrap to get the blueprint, and then you can craft it on a level 1 workbench using 5 high quality metal. So let's have a look how an OR switch works in practice. So an OR switch would pass power through if it receives power to either input A or input B. I've got two switches here, two generators as power source. If I turn on the left switch, the OR switch will receive power into input A, which fulfills the condition of either of the pins receiving power, and it will pass the power through. If I turn on just the right one, the condition is fulfilled again. It can be both of them turned on, and the OR switch will basically always pass the power through if it receives the power in either of the inputs. Now this circuit is obviously useless. We are going to have a look on a more practical example. I hope the general idea of OR switch is now more clear to you. Please give me thumbs up and subscribe if you want to receive more tips from me. Okay guys, let's have a look on a more practical example. Say you would like to make a game for your teammates, or if you are an admin of a server, you might want to make a game for anyone who's coming to your server. So I've made this little dungeon game where you are supposed to pass a hallway into this door, which is normally open, and you can't touch any of these lasers. So you start on this pressure pad, which if you step on it, it will reset the game. The door will open, and if you touch any of these lasers, you are not able to get through because the door will close. And the practical use of an OR switch is basically if the player touches this laser or this laser or this laser or this one, the door will close. So let's try to demonstrate. If I walk into the first laser, the door will close and remain closed. So I have to come back, step on the pressure pad again to reset the game, and then I can go and try again. So if I go to the next one, say, okay, I've already touched it, but probably with my revolver or something, I'm not even sure how did I, but I touched the second one, the door closed again, and I have to go back and reset the game. Obviously the door have to be locked for the players of such a game, so you need to make a unique code lock there. Okay, let's have a look how the electric stuff works. Let me first set the data into something where we could see all the cables and stuff. Okay, cool. Okay, I can walk through because I know the code lock. So what we've got here is plenty of branches and 3 OR switches. I've got a power source here. I'm using a generator. The first branch is branching out a bit of the power into the pressure pad, which is then being wired back in using this upper wire into this memory cell thing. This memory cell component basically does that once a player touches a laser, it will remember that it has touched it until a player will reset the system by standing on the pressure pad. So once a laser is touched, this thing will turn on. It will basically block power into this door controller, which means the door will close, and the player has to go back and reset the whole system using the pressure pad, which sends power into this reset pin. Okay, and how does this memory component know that a player has touched a laser? Well, I've got, for each laser, I've got a branch here, which is branching a bit of the power into the laser for it to function, and then it passes power into the next branch. So this repeats for all of the 4 lasers, and once there's a power input from the laser, which means a player has touched the laser, then the power input goes into this OR switch. This repeats for, I've got each time I've got two lasers wired into a single OR switch, and this works for the first two and the last two, and then I've got this one is for the last two, not this one. And then I've got the outputs of the OR switches. I've got wired both together into a third OR switch, which basically means that this all together is like an OR switch with 4 pins. Okay, I'm just wiring them together, and so that means if a player touches either of the lasers, the power will be passed into this set pin in the memory cell, and the memory cell will remember the fact that the player has touched a laser, and the power from the branches, which is ending here basically after being passed to all of the lasers, goes into the memory cell, and the memory cell will block the power into this door controller, which means the door will close. Okay, this is a slightly more complex system, but it's a fun game. You can try it with your teammates on your server. If you have any questions how any particular piece of this circuit works, you can feel free to ask in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys. Thumbs up and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.